So we want to hear more about how to get more sleep, better sleep, increase the quality of your sleep. Our bodies are going to be adjusting this weekend. So earlier this morning, our Aisha Howard spoke with Dr. David Schulman. He's with Emory's Sleep Center. He offered some tips on how to cope with the time change and how to stay healthy.
All right, this weekend, most of us will lose an hour of sleep as daylight saving time returns. And while springing forward, it might sound simple, sleep experts say the impact on your body can last for days. Let's check out the numbers. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine found Americans get an average of about 40 minutes less sleep on the night we spring forward. Researchers found a 24% increase in heart attacks on the Monday after daylight saving time begins, likely tied to sleep disruption and circadian rhythm stress. A national study from the University of Colorado Boulder found a 6% increase in fatal car crashes in the days following the springtime change, linked to fatigue and darker mornings. So, what is really happening to our sleep and how can we adjust more smoothly? Let's welcome in Dr. David Schulman, a sleep center specialist with Emory University School of Medicine. So for the people who think, it's just 1 hour, why does this change affect our body so much?
It's a super question. You'd think an hour would be meaningless, but on an individual basis, it might be. On a population basis, everyone losing an hour is kind of terrible. Daylight savings time seems like a small change, but moving that body clock by an hour can throw off the internal clock. For a lot of people, it feels like mild jet lag. It's not just losing an hour of sleep, it's our rhythm suddenly becomes misaligned with the clock.
And so a lot of people refer to the Monday after the time change feeling like the worst Monday of the year, the most Mondayest Monday. You think there's any science behind that feeling?
Oh, there's a ton of science behind it. I mean, the average person will lose about 40 minutes of sleep despite their best efforts to try to catch up because it's not easy to adjust your clock quickly. Think of it this way, right? If the sun is here and your body clock is here, we're all of a sudden divorcing them by an hour. Your body follows the sun and it really needs to try to get back to it. That's a huge gap.
So some people say, I just feel off. I just can't get it together like that whole week after the time change. Do you think that's actually real or is it just more psychological than anything?
Well, as you nicely said, there are really good data that show for a week after that springtime change, there's an increase in the risk of heart attacks, increase in risk of strokes, motor vehicle accidents, workplace incidents. So, no, it's quite real.
So a lot of people, dread this one because we're losing an hour for springing forward. Do you think this one is harder on our bodies than the fall time change when we actually gain an hour?
Oh, far more. I think far more so. We're all going to catch up a little bit. Interestingly, even that fall change, which theoretically would give us an hour of sleep, is associated with a slight increase in those same bad things we just talked about. But yeah, this is by far the worst one.
A lot of people talk about circadian rhythm. Exactly what is that? And how does the clock change confuse it all?
We really have just a very small clock in our head, for lack of a better term, and it really uses the sun to reset every day. Coffee might help a little bit, but sunlight is the best way to reset it. So when you travel to the West Coast from Atlanta or to England from Atlanta, there's that jet lag that we all feel. That's all that circadian rhythm dysfunction. This is it on a smaller basis, but again, it affects the entire population of the country, with the exception of maybe Arizona, all at once.
All right, so let's get personal here. I'm dreading this because losing an hour when the alarm is already set for 1:45, that is not what you want to do. So how do you personally adjust and get ready for the time change?
Well, there are three things that I recommend people do. The first is to shift your bedtime slightly earlier before the change. Now, we've only got 1 day left, but if you can go to bed about 30 minutes earlier tonight and wake up about 30 minutes earlier tomorrow, it will make the following day when we change a little bit better. Secondly, get sunlight in the morning. That's really, in this day and age where we're all sort of surrounded by screens and video, getting out, getting a little sunlight, opening those shades is first thing when you get up will help your clock to reset more quickly. And then the third piece, you may want to nap after that shift. I understand you're going to be tired, but avoid naps in the afternoon after about 3 p.m. Certainly avoid long naps because that's going to make that transition even harder.
Oh, okay. You said it. Okay, I'll try. Lastly, we talked about these heart attacks, though. How can losing sleep impact your heart health?
Well, a couple of different ways, but one of the primary ones is it causes an increase in the stress hormone levels in the body. We don't think of the entirety of our body as having a hormonal or a circadian rhythm, but every part of us does. The brain certainly does, but the heart does, the GI tract does. So when the heart is under stress because of that time shift, it can increase the rate of heart attacks. And again, we see that experimentally.
All right, Dr. David Schulman, thank you so much getting us ready. We got one night to try to get it right. We appreciate you being here with us. We'll have much more coming up right after this. Stay with us.
One night to get it right. I think I'm going to get it wrong. I never get enough sleep before daylight saving time.